Alright everyone, welcome back to another Faith in the Lanes video. Today we are going to be ranking all of the 2025 Brunswick Umbrella releases. Yeah, there's 55. So this is going to be fun. I hope you're in for a long one. Get some popcorn because we got a lot of bowling balls to go over. I did leave some out, like some of the rhinos, some of the twists and the spare balls and whatnot, because those ones are a little and I didn't think they were worth ranking. So we got basically all of the just newer high-end releases that we've come out with this year, and we're going to rank them. First off, we have GOAT tier. This basically means the bowling ball is the best of the best. I don't think there's bowling balls better than this one for what kind of bowling ball it is. I think it works on a lot of stuff. It works on house, it works on sport, it hits spins really hard. This ball is just goated. Hence the GOAT category. Below that we have Elite. These are still really good bowling balls. I think everybody should have one of these. I think they're good for every single type of bowler, no matter how you throw it. I think this ball could work for you in some way, shape, or form. I still trust all of these bowling balls. I would go to them no matter what. That's the Elite category. After that we have In the Car. These are bowling balls that I'm probably going to take with to tournaments. I might not throw them, but I'd rather have them with me than not have them at all. You know, whether it's a ball that I've thrown that I know whacks a certain kind of shot, or just bowling balls that I feel comfortable throwing or having with me just in case. These are bowling balls that go in the car. After that, we have the Niche category. These bowling balls work on like kind of a specific thing. So you won't really throw them on everything, but like when they hit them really hard. But if they're not in play, they probably aren't the best. But they're still decent bowling balls. And then after that, we have the house shot only balls. These are balls that I don't really think real good on sport patterns, but man, do they whack the china. So we're gonna get into this. These are in no particular order. I just grabbed as many as the releases that I saw. If I missed a couple, I apologize. I did my best. And we're just gonna go over them in order. Also, I'm probably not gonna remember the exact specs, you know, covers, numbers of some of these bowling balls. Most of them, I think I got a good gist on, but some of them I might not, so cut me a little slack. First off, we got the Alert. Now, the Alert I think is a very good bowling ball. I believe this one is symmetrical. It's a little funky if it's the first ball and I get it wrong, but this ball is very good. I've seen it thrown on a lot of stuff. I haven't drilled one yet, but it is definitely one I'm going to drill, especially for the Masters. This ball is very good. I've seen it roll good with surface. I've seen it roll good with a little bit of shine, even with some different layouts. This ball is very good. I'm tempted to put it in the GOAT category, but just because I haven't thrown it, we're gonna put it in the Elite category. Up next is the Anger Solid. This one came out not crazy early in the year. I think it was more of a summer release, but I haven't seen this one go down the lane too much. I still think it's a decent bowling ball, but I just think there's better bowling balls for it in the category that it is, and being that symmetrical solid line. But I just don't quite think it's one of those ones that, you know, I feel like I have to bring everywhere, but I think it would still be good to have it. So we're gonna put it in the car. Up next is the Black Widow Mania. This ball, I think, is very good. I did a little bit of the testing for this one in December with the Offset Assault. The Black Widow is just a great line for hammer, and the HK22 on top of it. It's pretty quick, and I think you could throw it on a lot of stuff. I am going to put this one in the Elite category. Up next, we got the Bubblegum Vibe. It's a decent ball. I've thrown it on a couple sport shots, and it hasn't looked the greatest. You know, I've kind of tried to play with some surface and whatnot. I didn't give it a crazy funky layout. I think I gave it like a 4 3/4 inch pin and like a 30-degree valve, so something pretty standard for me. And I just don't quite see it fitting on the sport shot stuff. I don't really think it fits in a college bag. It might be one you bring if you like this ball, but I don't really see it going down the lane very well on some of the tougher patterns, so we're gonna put it in the house shot only category. Up next, we have the Combat. The Combat is one I've heard a lot of really good things on. I believe it's a pretty big core with a decent cover on it, but I've seen this thing be super blendy on like the tougher ones, the shorter patterns, but it can get left if there's some friction out there. Don't think I've seen anything bad about this or heard anything bad about this bowling ball. Everyone that I've seen throw it says they love it, and they've probably drilled more than one of them, so we're gonna put it in the Elite category. Up next is the Criterion Hybrid. This bowling ball is pretty niche. I haven't seen it go down the lane a whole lot, and I think there might be a reason. I don't think it's a bad bowling ball, but like I said, I think it's got to be one of those, you know, you threw it once, you had 780 on something with it, and so you like bring it everywhere, even if it might not be the ball. And now we're going to the Criterion Inverse. Now this one's a little different. I've seen this one go down the lane. Looks pretty good. It's a little skid flippy. It kind of blends it a little bit on some of the tougher patterns. You can throw it in transition. I don't think this ball has seen surface a whole lot, but with the shine on it that it comes out of box, it's pretty good. Now, would it be Elite or in the car? I don't know. This is kind of one of those ones that there's other bowling balls in the same category that you might go to first. So I don't know if I should put it in the car or in the elite category, but I do think it would be a front runner and one of the ones I would pick. So we'll go elite. Up next, we have the Crown 78. This one just recently came out. This is our new solid urethane. This is one of the first urethanes that we've come out with in a long time that has a solid cover instead of a pearl cover. So this one reads it a lot earlier. I don't think this bowling ball is bad by any means. Would I throw it before a black or even a purple if I had the chance? Probably not, but I think it's one of those where when it's there, it'll probably hit them pretty hard. So this one's going in the car. Up next, we have the Crown Victory. It's a hybrid. A lot of people think it's a pearl. I thought it was a pearl before this video, so I had to do a little research as well. But it's a hybrid. Not bad at all. I think it's super clean. Not like the get down lane, get left kind of ball motion, but if you need a clean ball, it's going to get through it. This is definitely the one for you. I can see it going in some sport shot bags. I definitely see it going in some house shot bags. I would put this one in the car. Even if it's house, even if it's sport, I don't hate the idea of having this one with you. Up next, we have the Cypher Pearl. Moving swiftly on, we have the Danger Zone Pearl and the Danger Zone Solid. These ones just came out. The remakes of bowling balls that we had made a while back, talking quite a long time ago. So we remade them, made a pearl version and a solid version. They both come shiny. And from what I've seen, these balls going down the lane so far, they're pretty decent. I've definitely seen a lot of good things about the solid. I've seen some honor scores already, and just the ball motion, it looks really nice for a symmetrical solid that you need to be a little cleaner. If the pearls are just, too clean, because the covers are a little weaker, or even the cores are a little weaker, I think the Danger Zone Solid does a great job of still getting through the fronts, but getting their down lane. Some people might think I'm wrong here. I'm putting it in the elite category. I think it's good. And as to the pearl, I think the pearl is just a little step down. Again, for some of the other pearls that we just have out, I don't know that the Danger Zone Pearl would be the first one I go to, but it's definitely one I want to have. Up next, we have the Dark Side. I thought the Dark Side was a great bowling ball. I think it still is a great bowling ball. This one is one of the ones with the two-handed cores in it. I threw it at nationals. I've thrown on a lot of stuff. It does good on the house. It does good on the tough. I think it's a really good bowling ball. Again, it's one of those that some people might like it a lot more just because of what they've thrown with this bowling ball, but it's definitely not a bad ball by any means. I don't think it's quite elite, but it's in the car for sure. Up next, we have the Energize. Now, this one is a little unfortunate because we just discontinued the Mesmerize and the Vaporize, which were two amazing bowling balls. And we came out with this one to blend the two, and now the Mesmerize and the Vaporize are gone. So as far as it serving its purpose of blending between those two bowling balls, those two are kind of gone now. So I don't know where this bowling ball fits in. I still think it's a good bowling ball, but would I throw this over a Widowmania or a Combat or even like an Infinity Quest? Maybe, but I think you just have to have a little bit more liking for this one than other ones. I just still don't think it's a bad ball by any means. It's going in the car, but I don't think it's elite. The Entity, I think, is kind of a niche ball. It might be in the car, but another thing with some of the other big, strong, diggy cover bowling balls that we have, I just don't think the Entity is the first option I'm going to. I don't think any of these bowling balls are bad bowling balls, but because we have so many, we're going to have like repeats of bowling balls in the same categories as others, and some of them just roll better than others. For your style, how you throw it, what you like to see, it just is going to happen. So I don't think it's a bad ball by any means, but I just don't think it's... I have an ad for my Christmas music. We're back. As I was saying, I just think there's other bowling balls in the same category as the Entity that I would throw before it, so the Entity is going in the niche category. And then we have the Entity Pearl, which I kind of think is the same thing. The Entity isn't a bad line, it's just, I don't know that it's the first one I would throw, and I just think there's some better bowling balls I would go to before these ones. Again, they're not bad, just not the ones I would pick. Next, you have the Ethos Solid. I think the Ethos Solid is kind of in the same realm as the Bubblegum in terms of, I saw the idea of it being like a smoother benchmark piece, but it just was on some of the sports shots that I threw it on, and it just didn't seem the best overall for being a symmetrical solid. But I did see it go down the lanes on the house shots pretty well, so we're going to put it in the house shot only category. Quick disclaimer, this is fully my opinion on bowling balls. A lot of you guys might have thrown these in different spots and have much different opinions. These are just my opinions. You don't have to take my word for granted. Again, there's a lot of bowling balls and a lot of you out there who I'm sure have different thoughts on some of these bowling balls. So these are just my opinions, so don't yell at me. Evil Eye. Elite. Wow, this ball is good. This is another good one when we're talking about the Ethos Solid and the Anger Solid, where I'm like, I feel like there's just other bowling balls I would throw before it. Like an Alert is up there and an Evil Eye is up there. Like I would throw both of those before an Anger Solid or an Ethos Solid, and that is why I think they're elite, because they're the bowling balls that you want to go to on anything, no matter what. These are bowling balls that you trust, you know what they're gonna do, you've seen the shapes, you know they're gonna be a little bit reliable. You're gonna tend to want to throw these balls more when you get in trouble. That is what makes these bowling balls elite, is when the lanes are tough, you don't know what to throw, what do I think is going to give me the best chance to get 9? That's these bowling balls. They're going to strike a lot, but if you know they're hard, you want something you know is going to do in your hands, you're going to throw one of these bowling balls. Up next is the GB5 Pearl. Now, this one is a tough one for me to put somewhere because I've seen a lot of people love the GB5 Pearl on the sports, and I've seen a lot of people love the GB5 on house, but I don't think it's ever the one that whacks them. I don't think it's ever the one that is super good and is going to give you 260, 250, but I don't think it's ever like, you know, so bad that you shoot 150, 160 with it if it's the right ball. So I don't know that it's house shot. I don't know. I think it's too good to be in the car, but it's not elite. So we're going to put it in the niche category, not because it's worse than these, but because it's just unique. Up next we have the Guru Oracle. I haven't seen a whole lot about this one. I think it's pretty good. It's another one of those like ASIM solid bowling balls, but the intermediate diff's kind of low. So it's almost symmetrical. I don't think it's bad, but I probably wouldn't throw this before some other things. So we're also going to put it in the niche category. Up next, we have the Tour V1. Absolutely goated. I thought this ball was going to be ball of the year when it came out. This ball is so good. I could throw this thing on basically anything. I feel like I can hit this thing with surface, get it to slow down in the right spot, and even if it shines up, because of the Tour core having a little less stiff, it will get left down lane when I need it to. I don't know. The Black Widow is just such a good line, and I think we killed this ball with the Tour core in it, and the colors are super pretty. I mean, look at it. Just look at it. It's so pretty. I think this ball is goated. Absolutely. Up next, we have the Hammerhead. Again, this is another one of the symmetrical solids that we came out this year, and I think this one's pretty good. I would probably throw this one before an Ethos and before an Anger. Would I throw it before like an Evil Eye or an Alert? I'm not sure, but I think it's almost in the same category. I don't think it's elite, but it's definitely one I want in the car. I'm just now looking at this list, and I feel like I've ranked so many bowling balls, and I still have so many more to rank. Up next, we have the Hater Pearl. The Hater Pearl came out really early in the year, and I don't think it was a bad bowling ball. I think we just released it at a pretty niche time to where it got overlooked by some other bowling balls like the Vaporize, the One Reverb. Do I think it would have gotten some more playing time if it was released at a different point in the year? Absolutely. But because it wasn't, I'm going to put it in the niche category. All right. This one's going to be a hot take. I don't know that a lot of people are going to agree with me on this one, and that's totally fine, but I will stand by it. Goated. Outer Limit Solid is so good. I personally, being two-handed and I throw it pretty hard, I like bowling balls that slow down in the right spot for me. And I don't know if some of you guys know this, but colors affect the way bowling balls roll. Colors like black, the dark colors make bowling balls want to be a lot cleaner. Brighter colors want them to slow down a lot more, which is why you see a lot of the big ASIM solid bowling balls have a lot of brighter colors in them, including the Outer Limit Solid having that bright blue, the white, and even the purple. This bowling ball is super good. It is a chug monster. This thing deals with oil like no problem, and I just think it is a very good bowling ball. I would throw this on a lot of stuff. It takes surface well, and even without the surface, it blends it very well. I think it's good. I've thrown it on a lot of stuff, and I just think it's goated. The goated bowling balls are balls that just, I feel like, always tend to roll good. And actually, now that I'm looking at this list, I think the Alert's goated. The more I see it, I think it does everything that I just said it did. So I'm going to put the Alert in goated too. But the Outer Limit Solid is definitely goated, at least for me. Up next, we have the Hazmat Pearl. I threw this one a little bit before U22. The more I threw it, I feel like the more it just kind of slowed down and stopped doing what I wanted it to do. It has like the brighter colors again. So with it being a kind of strong core with a weak cover, I feel like it just almost counteracted itself in a way. I don't know. That's what we meant to do with the bowling ball. I still don't think it's bad, but it didn't whack the China either. So I can't put it in the house shot only. We're going to put it in the niche category. Up next is the Infinity Quest. I like the Infinity Quest. I think this ball's good. I think it's a mix of not too super skid flippy, not super early. It comes out of the box with the shine on it, but it is a solid, I believe. But I still think this is a good bowling ball. I don't know that it's goated. I don't know that it would be a ball that I always go to, but it's definitely one that I would throw over some other bowling balls that we've released. So we're going to put the Infinity Quest in the elite category. Up next is the Heckler Hybrid. I've seen a lot of really good things about this bowling ball recently. I think people are going to throw it in college. I think people are going to throw it on tour for a long time. It just kind of does the thing. I thought the Heckler was also really good, and having like a shinier hybrid version of it I think is super good. And with HK22, a lot of our shinier bowling balls have been starting to do the right thing a lot more, so I like this one. I also think this ball is going to be elite. Up next we have the Intel Recon. I haven't seen this thing go down a lot on the sports shots, but I've definitely seen it whack the China. I just got done bowling holiday doubles and I saw this one a lot, and it did a lot of striking. So we're going to put this one in the house shot only. Up next is the Mantra Solid. The Mantra is asymmetrical, but it's very low asymmetric. It's like the intermediate diffs on it's like 0.11, so it doesn't have a lot of intermediate diff. For me, it doesn't really roll like an asim. I think it's more symmetrical, but I still wouldn't throw it over like an Evil Eye. So we're going to put it in the car. I think it's a good one to have. I don't know that it'd be the first one I go to, but it's definitely good to have. Up next, we have the Maximum Effect. This ball handles oil like there's no tomorrow. This ball hooks and hooks and it keeps hooking. I got to throw this one a little bit before it released. I thought it was pretty good, but again, when I have bowling balls like the Outer Limit Solid, I still throw the Mesmerize. I think that ball is amazing. I wasn't going to throw a Maximum Effect over it, but I still think the Maximum Effect is a very good bowling ball. For me, personally, I think this is one that I would put in the car, but I think it's more so on the elite side. Up next, you have the Hypnotize. Again, the Hypnotize is one of those balls that we kind of came out with to bridge the Mesmerize and the Vaporize, and now those are gone. So the purpose of this bowling ball kind of went away. I do think it's a good bowling ball, but again, not a whole lot of people throw it anymore. I don't think it's a bad ball to drill, but I don't think you're going to go to this one right away. I'm going to put this in the niche category. All right, up next we have the No Doubt Solid. This one's good on the house. And that's about all I've seen it roll good on. I haven't seen it go on the lanes a lot on tour. Haven't seen it go on the lanes a lot in college. But I have seen it go on the lanes on Tuesday Night League. Up next, we have the new 2.0. This is our new not urethane bowling ball. Remember the new blue? This is a newer version we came out to be a little more like urethane. And so far I've seen some mixed reviews on this one. I've seen some people say they really like it. I've seen some people say they think it's just going to get washed under the rug again. I don't want to rule it out just yet because it hasn't been out for very long. I don't know that I can say it's elite. So we're going to put it in the car. And then hopefully later on in the 2026 season, we see how it rolls a little bit more, especially with the new urethane rules. And maybe it'll work its way up to the elite or the goated category. Up next is the Offset Assault. This is another one I threw with the Mania when they first came out. And I thought this one was pretty good. For when this one came out, I think it did a really good job of filling a gap in like our line of bowling balls. I thought it was kind of one of the slower but still really round continuous like bowling balls. Especially compared to the 3D offset and the attack that we had. I thought this one was the best of the three. I'm gonna put it in the car, but let me know in the comments where you would put that one. Up next is the Paragon Shadow. This ball's elite. I haven't personally thrown it, but I've seen so many people throw it, and man, this ball looks good. With the surface, this thing is the blendiest, smoothest, hit like a truck bowling ball I have seen. I've seen so many different styles throw it. I've seen two-handers throw it. I've seen people throw it up 5 and it looks good. I've seen people swing it from 23 and it looks good. This one just overall looks really good. I would almost put this in the GOAT category, but I think it's elite. Up next is the Piranha Jade. This one is, I want to say it's the epitome of niche because I think it can roll good at times, but if it's not like the ball that whacks it, I don't think it's the one. I think when it's there, it's there. There's no doubt about it. I have seen people put up some scores with this bowling ball. It's just one of those when I see people throw it, it's 250, and other than that, I don't see people throwing it at all. Up next, we have the Power Hitter. I don't know a whole lot about this bowling ball. I don't see anyone really throwing it, and there might be a reason for that, but it's definitely not a bowling ball I have or have seen or have an interest in drilling. Up next, we have the Pulse. I think this is the best symmetrical solid that we have out of any of the umbrellas by far. I think this ball rolls amazing with lane shine or even with polish. I think it rolls great with surface. You can play every part of the lane with this bowling ball, and I think it strikes from anywhere. I've thrown it on the house, I've thrown it on the tough, I've thrown it on a lot of things, and it just rolls good, especially for my game. And I've seen some people with lower revs, lower ball speeds throw it, and it still works really well. I think this ball does a great job and is different than the other 3 bowling balls we have out there. I think this ball's goated. Up next, we have the Rally. The Rally is a ball that I don't think is niche. I think this is another one of those weird ones. It's kind of the same with the GB5, where it's like the good, but like I'm not gonna put it in niche because it's I'm putting it in niche because I don't think it's an elite bowling ball, but it's too good that I wouldn't just have it in the car. I think it's better than just bringing it. Like I would throw it on some stuff. So I don't know, but we're gonna put it in the niche category, but for a different reason. We're gonna move the GB5 with the Rally, so you kind of understand. Up next is the Ricochet Return. I'm not gonna lie. Out of all of the bowling balls, this one is probably one of my least favorites. Again, not saying it's bad. We've just come out with better. So we're gonna definitely put it in the niche category. Up next, Severe Collision. The collision line is very good. I have seen a lot of people throw this bowling ball. I've seen a lot of people throw a lot of these bowling balls. I don't drill a whole lot. I kind of only drill stuff that I feel like I need to. But when I get on a tour this upcoming season, I think I'm going to drill a lot more. So hopefully when I do a 2026 bowling ball list, I will have thrown the majority of, if not all of these bowling balls. I think it's too good to have just in the car. I think it's an elite bowling ball. Up next, I believe, is the Snapshot Hybrid. I do think, if I remember right, I think this is the solid or the hybrid. I think that's the hybrid. That one's niche, and I think this is the pearl. This one wax the China. I've seen some underscores with that one. That one looks pretty good. Up next, you have the special effect. The special effect is a weird one to me. The regular effect was good. The Effector was pretty good. And then the maximum effect is an absolute oil chugging machine. The special effect is still a solid, but we shined it. So it doesn't really do like the big ASIM solid thing. It like wants to be blendy, but it's not quite. I've seen a lot of people really like this bowling ball, and I've seen a lot of people really not like this bowling ball. We'll put it in the car. Up next, we have the Stealth Mode. I think the Stealth Mode is a very good bowling ball. It's another one of those benchmarky bowling balls. Even though it's asymmetrical, I still think you can throw it as a symmetrical bowling ball with maybe a weaker layout. I think it does the thing very well. I think the Stealth line is just a very good line overall. I don't think you could go wrong with buying a Stealth Mode. Up next, we have the Street Rally. This one just came out, like literally maybe less than a week ago. And from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. Sadly, cannot throw it in 2026 on the PBA National Tour. I think you can throw it on 50 stuff and PBA Junior stuff, even some regionals, but you can't throw it on the National Tour. So I'm not going to see a lot of tour guys throwing these bowling balls, but I don't think it's going to be one of those that gets like brushed under the rug. We'll put it in the car. Up next is the Super Cuda Pearl. I think this one will stay on Thursday nights. Up next, we have the One Ovation. I'm going to put this ball in the GOAT category. I have loved this bowling ball. I think this ball rolls really good, especially because I love the one reverb. If I want the same shape, but I want to be able to have a little bit of surface on it. The reverb wasn't the best with surface, but the reverb was amazing, shiny. The equivalent of goodness that the reverb had with shine, the One Ovation has with surface. I have seen this ball roll good on the China. I have seen this ball roll good on the Dead Hard. I haven't seen this ball roll bad. And I think that's what makes a bowling ball goated. Up next is the Theorem Solid. Again, this is one of those that I don't think was bad, but I just don't think you would throw it before some other bowling balls. There's probably some people out there who have absolutely whacked some stuff with this bowling ball, but I think it's just going to go in the niche category. Up next, we have the Torpedo and the Torpedo Direct Hit. Moving on, we have the Troublemaker Solid. I've seen some two-handers love this ball, and I've seen some two-handers not be a huge fan of this bowling ball. But I don't think it's a bad bowling ball. I think it's definitely one that I would bring to tournaments. I think I would for sure put it in the car. I think I'd bring it with if I had it and I liked the way it rolled. It might not be the one I always go to, but I would for sure bring it with. Up next, we have the Turbo X. I don't know that this would be one that I bring with me everywhere. I think if I had to pick, this one would probably just be better for the China. I think with it being one of the shinier solids, that it just does more of the thing on the China. And last but not least, we have the Zero Mercies. I think the Zero Mercy solid has potential to be goated, because we released the maximum effect, which was like our ball that like did great with heavy oil, and then we released the Zero Mercy solid right afterwards. Now, being a new line, I think it takes the cake for two reasons. One, I think I've seen a lot more people have more love for this because it's a brand new line, and two, I think the colors look better going in the lane than the maximum effect. Again, this is my opinion, but I think those are two reasons why it's better than the maximum effect and why it deserves to go in the GOAT category. And last but not least, the Zero Mercy Pearl, I think is elite. I don't know that it's going to be goated, but I've seen some good things about this bowling ball. I've seen it real good in the house, I've seen it real good in the hard, and overall, I just think it's a good bowling ball. So there we have it. That is the 2025 Brunswick Release bowling ball tier list for my opinion. Like I said, you guys might have some different opinions on these, but this is what I think for the bowling balls I've thrown, haven't thrown, and I've just watched go down the lane. Let me know in the comments what you guys would change, but that is going to wrap it up. Hopefully we see you guys next year for a 2026 tier list, but that's it for now. We'll see you guys in another Faith on Lanes video. Later!